Hey, English learners, welcome back to Fluent Speaking Podcast, your warm and friendly corner of the internet where we slow down, breathe a little, and learn real, everyday English through honest conversations. I'm Emma.
And I'm Alex, and we are so genuinely happy you are here with us today. Whether you are listening on a quiet morning before the rest of the world wakes up, or on your commute, or lying in bed with your headphones in, this little episode was made for you.
If you enjoy learning with us in this calm and cozy way, please like this episode, subscribe to Fluent Speaking Podcast, and share it with a friend who is also on this English journey. It really does mean the world to us. Okay, let's get into today's topic.
Emma, before we start, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Have you ever had a moment where someone asked you about a trip you were planning and you just went blank? Like you had a whole trip in your head, but suddenly the English words disappeared?
Oh, completely. I remember once a colleague asked me, "So, where are you off to next?" And I knew exactly where I was going. I had the flights booked, the accommodations sorted. I had even made a little list of restaurants I wanted to try. But the moment she asked, all I could say was, I am going... beach. And she smiled kindly and walked away.
The words were all there, somewhere, just not in the right order at the right moment.
Exactly. And that is what today's episode is about. Not just what words to use when talking about travel plans in English, but how to talk about travel in a way that makes the other person lean in, that makes them say, "Oh, that sounds amazing. Tell me more." Because that is the real goal, isn't it? Not to pass a grammar test, to have a real conversation that goes somewhere.
So, today we have 3 ideas that will completely change how you talk about travel plans in English. And the third one, Emma, I want to warn our listeners about the third one.
Oh, the third one is the one that stays with you.
It really is. So please stay with us all the way to the end. But let's start from the beginning. Idea number 1.
Idea number 1. Stop listing your plans. Start painting your dream. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Most English learners, when someone asks about their travel plans, do something like this. They say, "I will go to Thailand. I will stay in a hotel. I will visit temples. I will eat Thai food. I will come back after 10 days. And that is not wrong. The grammar might even be perfect, but it is flat. It is like reading a shopping list out loud, and nobody falls in love with a shopping list.
And here's the thing that most textbooks never tell you. When native English speakers talk about travel plans, they do not list, they dream out loud. They invite you into the vision they have in their head. They make you feel the warmth of the sun they are imagining, the taste of the food they are already excited about, the sound of the street they have only seen in photos.
Think about the difference between these two answers. Answer 1. I am going to Italy in June. I will visit Rome and Florence. I will stay for 2 weeks. Answer 2. I am going to Italy in June, and honestly, I cannot stop thinking about it. I have this image in my head of sitting outside a small cafe somewhere in Rome, drinking an espresso, watching people walk by. That's all I want, just that one moment.
Which one made you want to ask more questions?
The second one, every time.
And did you notice that the second answer was not more complicated English? It was actually simpler in some ways. Simpler words, but they were specific, they were honest, they were alive. A small cafe, an espresso, watching people walk by. These are not advanced vocabulary, but they paint a picture so clear you can almost see it.
Your travel plan is a dream, and dreams deserve to be described like dreams, not like a flight schedule. So the next time someone asks where you are going, don't just tell them the destination. Tell them the one moment you're most looking forward to. Tell them the thing you keep picturing in your head when you close your eyes and think about the trip. That one honest detail is worth 10 perfectly constructed sentences.
I want to share something personal here. I grew up in a small town, and we didn't travel much when I was a child. So when I was about 22 and I saved up enough money to take my very first solo trip, I was terrified, but also completely lit up inside with excitement.
Where did you go?
I went to Portugal, and I remember telling a friend about my plan, and she asked, "What are you most excited about?" And I thought about it for a moment, and I said, "Honestly, I just want to get lost. I want to walk down a street I have never seen, with no map, no plan, and just see what I find around the corner."
That gave me chills just now.
And she said, "That is the best travel plan I have ever heard." And we talked about it for an hour. One sentence, no itinerary, no hotel names, just the honest feeling behind the trip. And that conversation was more meaningful than any list of tourist attractions could ever be. So do not be afraid to dream out loud in English. Your dreams, even imperfectly expressed, are the most interesting thing about your travel plans.
Okay, let's move to idea number 2. And this one connects so beautifully to what Alex just said. Idea number 2, when you talk about travel plans, do not just say where you are going, say why it calls to you.
Because here's the truth that most travel conversations miss. Nobody really cares which airport you're flying from. Nobody needs to know your hotel star rating. What people actually want to know is, why this place? What's pulling you there? What's the story behind the destination?
And when you answer that question, everything changes. Because now you're not just sharing information, you're sharing a piece of yourself, your curiosity, your longing, your history, your dreams. And that's where real conversation lives.
Let me give you an example. Say someone asks you, "Why Japan?" You could answer, "Because I want to see Mount Fuji and try real ramen." Fine, correct, forgettable. Or you could say, "I've been obsessed with Japanese culture since I was a teenager. There's something about the way Japan holds on to its traditions while also being so modern that just fascinates me. And honestly, I think I need the quietness. I need to sit in a garden somewhere and just be still for a while." Now that answer tells me something real about who you are.
And here's what happens when you answer that way. The other person doesn't just nod and move on. They lean in. They say, "Oh, I felt that way about a place once." Or they say, "I went to Japan and I know exactly what you mean." Or they say, "Where is that feeling coming from for you?" And suddenly, you're not just talking about a trip. You're having a real conversation about longing and beauty and what we're looking for when we travel.
Emma, can I ask you, why does travel call to you? What's the real reason you love it?
I have never been asked that so directly. Let me think. I think for me, travel is the only time I feel completely present. At home, I am always thinking about tomorrow. What do I need to do? What did I forget? What is coming next? But the moment I land somewhere new, all of that disappears. I only have now, this street, this smell, this light. And I think I travel because I am chasing that feeling of being completely, fully here.
That is so honest and so beautiful. And I promise you, if you said that to someone in English, even with small grammar mistakes, they would remember it, because honest words, even imperfect ones, always land harder than perfect sentences that say nothing.
So practice this. The next time someone asks about your travel plans, try to answer the why behind the where. Why this country? Why this moment in your life? What are you hoping to find or feel or leave behind? That one question, answered honestly, turns a travel conversation into something that matters. And now, as promised, idea number 3, the one we have been building toward. Are you ready?
Tell them, Alex. Idea number 3. Stop waiting until you have real travel plans to talk about travel in English. Start now, today, with the trips you're dreaming about, the places you have always wanted to go, the journeys that live only in your imagination for now. Because here's what I've learned. Talking about future travel is some of the richest English practice you will ever do, and it requires no booking, no passport, no budget, only your imagination.
And I want to explain why this is so powerful. When we talk about future dreams, we use some of the most beautiful and expressive structures in the English language. I would love to visit. I have always dreamed of going to. One day I hope to see. Someday I imagine myself standing in. These are not beginner phrases. These are the phrases that make you sound thoughtful and expressive and genuinely interesting to talk to.
And they are not difficult. They are just specific to talking about hopes and dreams. I would love to visit Iceland one winter and see the northern lights. I have always dreamed of walking through the old city of Istanbul at dawn before the tourists wake up. One day, I hope to take a slow train journey across a country I've never been to, with nothing but a book and a window seat. These sentences came out of me effortlessly because I mean them, because they are real dreams.
And that is the secret. When you talk about something you genuinely feel, the English comes more easily. Not perfectly, but naturally, because your heart is helping your brain.
I want to tell you about a listener who wrote to us. Her name is Priya, and she wrote from India. She said she had been learning English for 6 years, but she always felt stuck when it came to speaking. She knew grammar rules, she could read English well, but speaking felt stiff, as she put it, like wearing a coat that doesn't quite fit.
That feeling is so real, and so many learners know it.
And then she tried something small. She started every evening before bed describing one imaginary trip in English, just to herself, in her journal, or sometimes out loud in her room. She would write things like, "Tonight I am imagining a trip to the south of France. I am sitting on a terrace somewhere in Provence. There is lavender growing in the garden below me. I am reading a book I have wanted to read for years. I feel completely unhurried for the first time in a long time."
And no one was grading her. No one was correcting her. She was just practicing talking about a dream in English.
And she wrote to us 3 months later and said, "Someone at work asked me about my travel plans last week, and for the first time in my life, I talked for 10 minutes without stopping. I talked about the places I want to see. I described moments I have been imagining for years. And my colleague said, 'You speak so expressively.'" And Priya said she almost cried because for 6 years she had been told she needed to improve, and all she needed was permission to dream out loud.
That story gives me chills every single time.
So here is your permission. You do not need a plane ticket to talk about travel. You just need your imagination and the willingness to share what's inside it. Dream out loud in English, even alone, even in a journal, even in a whisper, and watch what happens to your speaking.
Okay, let's take a gentle pause now and do our word tour, a calm, quiet walk through some of the words and phrases we explored today.
Just a few, slowly, so they settle into you.
First word, wander. To wander means to walk without a fixed plan or direction. Not lost exactly, just free, moving wherever your feet take you. For example, I love to wander through old streets with no destination in mind. Or one of my favorite travel memories is just wandering through a local market and seeing what I find. Say it quietly. Wander. Wander. There's something lovely about that word. It sounds like what it means. Next word, longing. Longing is a deep, quiet wish for something. It is not just wanting. Wanting is quick. Longing is slow and aching and warm at the same time. For example, I have this longing to see the ocean at sunrise just once in my life. Or, talking about travel fills me with this beautiful longing for places I have never been. Say it. Longing. Longing.
Next phrase, off the beaten track. This is one of the most beautiful phrases in travel English. Off the beaten track means somewhere that most tourists do not go, somewhere hidden, quiet, undiscovered. The beaten track is the well-worn path that everyone follows. Off the beaten track is the path you find yourself, the one that surprises you. For example, I'm not really interested in famous tourist spots. I prefer places that are a little off the beaten track. Say it slowly. Off the beaten track. Off the beaten track.
Next word, itinerary. An itinerary is your travel plan, the list of places, dates, and activities for your trip. Some travelers love a detailed itinerary. Every hour planned, every restaurant booked, every museum ticket reserved. Others prefer to arrive with almost nothing planned and see what happens. Both are valid. Both are beautiful in their own way. For example, I made a rough itinerary, but I left lots of empty spaces for spontaneous moments. Say it. Itinerary. Itinerary.
Next word, unwind. To unwind means to relax and let go of stress, like a coiled spring slowly releasing. Travel often gives us space to unwind from the pressure of daily life. For example, I need this trip so badly, I just want to unwind for a week. Or, there's nothing like sitting by the water to help you truly unwind. Say it. Unwind. Unwind.
And our last word today, departure. Departure means the moment of leaving, the beginning of a journey. There is something deeply emotional about the word departure. An airport departure, a departure from everything familiar, a departure from the life you have been living. For example, the morning of my departure, I stood at the door of my apartment and just breathed for a moment. Or, every departure feels like a small ending and a big beginning at the same time. Say it. Departure. Departure.
6 words today. Wander, longing, off the beaten track, itinerary, unwind, and departure. Try to use one of them this week, even in your head, even in a sentence you write in your journal before you sleep. Because a word you use is a word you keep.
And a word you only hear passes through you like wind. But a word you say out loud, a word you write down, a word you connect to a feeling, that word becomes yours forever. Okay, now it is your turn. And this is our favorite part of every episode.
Yes, because now the conversation belongs to you.
Here is your challenge. Think of one place in the world that calls to you. It does not matter if you have been there or not. It does not matter if you could afford to go tomorrow, or if it is only a dream right now. Just one place that lives somewhere inside you.
And now, describe it, using what we practiced today. Do not list the tourist attractions. Tell us why it calls to you. Tell us the one moment you imagine most clearly. Tell us how you think it would make you feel.
For example, you could write something like, I have always longed to visit the mountains of Norway. I imagine standing somewhere very high and very quiet, looking out over water and snow, and feeling like the world is enormous and I am very small. And somehow that smallness feels like freedom. See? No grammar perfection needed, just honesty.
Or you could write something like, someday I hope to wander through the streets of Marrakesh at dusk. I have seen photos of the light there, this golden, dusty, warm light, and I feel like if I stood in it even once, something in me would shift.
That second one just transported me somewhere.
And that is the power of specific, honest, feeling-filled words. They transport people.
So please, write your travel dream in the comments. It does not have to be long. It does not have to be perfect. 1 sentence is a gift. 3 sentences is a full journey. Just make it honest. Make it yours.
And know this, when you write your comment, you are not just practicing English, you are sending a little piece of your inner world out into a community of people who are all doing the same brave thing as you, learning a new language, reaching across borders, trying to connect.
And your dream, your specific, tender, honest travel dream, might be exactly what another learner needs to read today. Someone who thought their dreams were too small or too ordinary or too far away. And then they see your sentence and they think, oh, my dreams are worth putting into words too.
1 honest sentence gives permission to 100 quiet hearts.
Before we close today, we want to say something directly to you. If you have been listening all the way to this moment, thank you. Genuinely. You gave us your time and your attention, and that is not a small thing.
And I want to say something to anyone who feels like their travel dreams are too far away right now, too expensive, too complicated, too far in the future to even talk about.
Your dreams are not less real because they have not happened yet.
Say that again.
Your dreams are not less real because they have not happened yet. The longing you feel for a place you have never been is just as valid and just as worth expressing as any stamp in any passport.
And practicing English through your travel dreams is one of the most powerful things you can do right now, because you are connecting language to something you truly care about, and language connected to feeling is language that sticks.
So dream out loud, in English, in this comment section, in your journal, in your bedroom mirror, wherever you feel safe to practice.
Because the trip might not be booked yet, but the words are yours right now.
If this episode helped you even a little, please give it a like, subscribe to Fluent Speaking Podcast, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today.
Maybe a friend who always says they are not good enough at English to talk about big things. Maybe this episode will help them find the words for the dreams they have been carrying quietly.
Your support helps this little podcast reach more learners, and every new listener is one more person who feels a little less alone in this journey.
Until next time, take care of your English and take care of your dreams. This was Fluent Speaking Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Alex. We will see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.